Do you agree with the people that Kendrick won the battle?
1000%.
You truly cannot make this up, man. Drake allegedly sent Kendrick Lamar a cease and desist over the Super Bowl. That's right, man. It looks like the beef between Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and the Super Bowl is not slowing down anytime soon, because apparently Drake is so upset that Kendrick Lamar is gonna be performing at the Super Bowl that he actually sent him another cease and desist.
Chains and Whips is the name of the diss track that Clips debuted at the Louis Vuitton fashion show. And TikTok is telling us that Kendrick Lamar is supposed to be on this song.
Drake just got caught red-handed trying to sabotage Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl moment, and the receipts, they're ugly. Pusha T just exposed how Drake has been plotting behind the scenes, using the same dirty tricks he's tried before to tear Kendrick down. But this time, the plan completely backfired. February is creeping up, and you know what that means, the Super Bowl halftime show. But for Drake, it's not just any performance. It's his worst nightmare coming to life, and Kendrick, he's making it even harder to ignore. The guest performer reveal just made things personal, and name on that list, none other than Sha.
What's up with it? Yeah, everything's smooth. I'm on the field right now. Yeah, you know, same old, keeping the body in motion, getting that wind up. You know, this field a lot bigger than what people think, so that's a must. Exactly. Now, I've been thinking about a guest performance.
The internet is already buzzing, not just because Say is one of the biggest artists right now, but because of the history she shares with both Kendrick and Drake. Remember those dating rumors between Sha and Kendrick back in the day? That old tension mixed with the ongoing Drake-Kendrick beef is turning the Super Bowl into a battlefield. It's as if Kendrick is carefully stacking the deck against Drake piece by piece. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, Drake's weird history with 8. Back in 2020, Drake decided to name Daro Haran 21 Savage's track Mr. Right Now casually rapping, "Cause I used to date Sha back in 08. The internet, as expected, lost its mind. Sha, however, quickly came through to correct the record, explaining that it was actually 2009, not 2008. Now in a Rolling Stone interview, she's setting the tone even clearer. This was not some epic love story, according to SA. It was a brief childish situation that barely counted. Basically, imagine the most unserious, barely a thing situationship. That's what Sha is giving us. No drama, no deep heartbreak, just two industry rookies crossing paths in New York. What makes this whole thing funnier is how unbothered she's been about it from the start. Back in December 2022, she already downplayed the whole thing in an interview with Odyssey, saying, "We're cool. We've always been cool. It's never been weird." It's never come completely out of the blue. Despite all this, their professional relationship has clearly stayed intact. Drake even tapped Sha for Slime You Out, the lead single off his album For All the Dogs. So whatever youth vibes they had back then didn't mess up their ability to make hits together. Fast forward to now, and suddenly IA is front and center at Kendrick's big moment. Coincidence, or a calculated chess move in this long and messy feud? Because let's be real, Kendrick is stacking the deck against Drake piece by piece. First, he gets the Super Bowl slot, a stage that Drake has never touched. Now, he's bringing in someone with an awkward, shady history with Drake. The pettiness is off the charts, and let's talk about the energy this is bringing. Drake has been flailing all year, flopped albums, lawsuits, AI diss tracks. And now he has to watch his longtime nemesis win in front of millions. It's giving revenge arc. It's giving karma, and it's giving the Super Bowl is about to be more dramatic than the actual game. Kendrick Lamar is running 2024, and at this point, there's nothing Drake can do but watch in horror. Ever since their rap war ended with Kendrick bodying him, the Compton legend has been unstoppable. His diss track, Not Like Us, didn't just win the beef. It became a full-blown cultural reset, smashing records and turning into an anthem that the streets, the clubs, and even the industry couldn't ignore, and now he's about to perform it on the biggest stage in music. The NFL handing Kendrick the Super Bowl halftime show isn't just a cosign, it's the ultimate flex. It's the industry screaming from the rooftops that Kendrick is the culture right now, and Drake he has no choice but to sit back and take it. This Super Bowl should be a historic moment for hip-hop, a celebration of rap's dominance. But for Drake, it's nothing short of pure humiliation. He knows exactly what's coming, the memes, the jokes, the camera zooming in on every awkward reaction he has that night. It's all inevitable. And the worst part, he can't stop it. Drake's legal chaos with Universal Music Group is only making things messier. In a shocking move, Drake has sued his own label, claiming they orchestrated bot streams to artificially push Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us, in an effort to destroy his career. He's accusing of working against him, intentionally boosting Kendrick's song to make him look bad. But that's not even the wildest part. Drake is alleging that Kendrick's track spread false criminal allegations against him, making it clear that he's setting up a legal battle that could have major implications down the road. While some fans are taking Drake's side, others think this is nothing more than damage control. The timing is just too convenient, right before the Super Bowl. Right as Kendrick is about to have his biggest moment, Drake is scrambling, trying to rewrite the narrative before it's too late. But this lawsuit isn't just about money, it's about pride. Drake knows he lost the battle in the streets and the culture, and now he's trying to win in the boardrooms. One person who has been watching all of this unfold from the very beginning is Pusha T. If anyone knows Drake's tactics, it's Pusha. He was the first to truly expose Drake back in 2018, with the story of Adidon revealing his secret son and changing the trajectory of Drake's career forever. Back in 2022, while still licking his wounds from Pusha T obliterating him with the story of Adidon, he allegedly tried to play chess by throwing a $100,000 bounty into the streets, hoping to dig up some dirt on Push. But the problem there wasn't any dirt to dig. Pusha wrote, "You got a 100,000 floating around for info. Can't no amount of money create skeletons that don't exist." Upset, Push is clean, at least when it comes to the type of skeletons Drake was looking for. Even worse, the streets weren't rocking with Drizzy's bounty. Pusha himself confirmed it in an interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Situation just went, it just went where it went, and it's just there's no turning back. It's not like those other situations. I'll say at that point, it wasn't even about battle rap or any of that. It was just the information was too shocking. It was, like I said, it was on his part, it was a genius chess move. He obviously has no when it comes to me, he's not gonna have any morals or respect. So the other elements of the record, whether it be just the shit that he's making up about my mom and my dad and all this or obviously the part that hit me the most, which is wishing that my friend that has an illness dies. That to me is just not really wavy. I'm just not really with that. And when I did say, oh, there's rules to this, I didn't mean there's rules that anybody has to follow.
Some random street dude, not even his homie, hit him up just to let him know what Drake was trying to pull. A female handler, clearly working for Drake, even reached out to one of Push's close associates, hoping he'd fold. But dude played the game, entertained her, and instead just used the situation to report back to Push.
Yeah, but it's sensitive and it's real and it's, you know what I mean? It's unfiltered, so it's we all in the town. It'd probably be some issues behind it, but that ain't a big deal. But
so this female gave this guy a call who had some run-ins with Pusha T, so she believed that this guy would turn on Pusha T, but
Drake basically got finessed while thinking he was the one setting a trap.
An industry person, she is industry, and it threw me for a minute. I actually called her husband. I was like, listen, this is what I heard. I hate that I'm hearing this right now, but if it is true, you understand that I'm not playing with anybody. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, you don't even have to tell her call me back, because but the more I talk to him, the more I heard in his tone that it could have been some truth somewhere. He was giving me that energy. It wasn't flat out denying it, was, excruciatingly oh, this can't be, let me just get to the bottom. But I just felt, because this is something that should never have been said or done.
All right, man, so that's the clip, that's the video. So I think it's super interesting to hear Push say the same thing that Kendrick is saying, and they both beefing with Drake. to say that he used the same tactic against him. And even, you know, for Push to have somebody that was so industry around him that just wanted the relationship with Drake so bad that they was willing to backstab him that way. You know, it's a crazy thing. And I thought he kept it gangster, letting her husband know, like, I'm gonna call her husband on some G, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it gangster with you, bro. If this, because again, he not looking at it like, oh, Drake just calling around for $100,000 on my head for information. He looking at it from a street perspective, bro. Like, hold on, if she's mediating the $100,000 for Drake, like, oh, I'll give you $100,000 if you can give me some information to take back to Drake.
And Pusha was unbothered, laughing at the attempt. Because in his words, you can't create skeletons that don't exist. And what's wild is that Kendrick also exposed Drake's little habit of paying for dirt on his enemies on 616 in Law. He rapped it was fun until you started to put money in the streets, then lost money, cause they came back with no receipts. That's a read. Imagine throwing cash out like that, and the streets just collected in bunk. Not to mention Kendrick wasn't done in Euphoria. He again called out Drake for hiring people to dig up dirt instead of standing 10 toes down. Why would I call around trying to get dirt on NWS? Y'all think all my life is RRA. And this is where it gets funny, because Pusha T loved it. Kendrick even gave him a little nod in Euphoria, rapping, "Let me see you, Pusha T." When Pusha was asked how he felt about it, he didn't even try to downplay it. Speaking of internet antics, let's not forget the time Pusha's name was trending on Twitter for the most ridiculous accusations, like people tweeting about him selling coke to their imaginary third grade cousins and impregnating salamanders. Of course, fans suspected Drake was behind the Twitter bot attack. But the thing is, Jim Jones also had beef with Push at the time. Yet Jim stood 10 toes down, never hiding behind bots. Meanwhile, Drake, well, he let the internet do the work for him. Per usual, Drake and his bots have a long history, just like he and Push do. Their drama dates back to 2011, when Push came for Drake's ghostwriting ways. And let's be real, that was one of the first times the street started questioning Drizzy's pen. Then came the infamous "Don't F With Me" freestyle, where Push flipped Drake's "Dreams Money Can Buy" beat and called out the fact that new rappers act like bosses just because they get a little bit of fame. Rappers on their side, sophomores acting like they boss lords fame. Such a funny thing for sure. When in a start believing all them encores, Drake clapped back on Tuscan Leather in 2013. But nothing really hit until the story of Adidon in 2018. That was a nuclear bomb. You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home the moment the world found out about Adonis. And ever since then, Drake's been moving shaky. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Kendrick might have just kept that legacy alive, because if the streets are to be believed, he just exposed Drake for allegedly hiding a daughter too. In Meet the Grams, he raps, "Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world." He don't commit to much, but his music, yeah, that's for sure. He a narcissist, misogynist, living inside his songs, destroying families, rather than taking care of his own. This right here, the Adonis moment, part 2. If true, this could be another devastating blow to Drake's whole image. And speaking of Push, word on the street is he's teaming up with Kanye to drag Drake even further, and this time the Kardashians are in the mix. Drake's been circling that family for years. There were rumors about him and Kylie after he popped up at her 16th birthday party. And let's not even get started on the whispers about him and Kris Jenner. But they're really his connection with Kim K when she filed for divorce. Drake wasted no time stirring the pot. Allegedly, he was pressed about Kim being with Kanye in the first place, and saw her being single as his moment to swoop, and a source even claimed Drake had been saying it for years, that Kanye was not the right person for Kim, and added how it would all end in tears. Drake also stated how he was surprised that it took her long to realize, and he decided to message her the moment it became clear that the divorce was inevitable. And Kanye, he hated that energy. He's been publicly calling out Drake's shady ways for years.
With Drake, that's the whole thing. It's like morality and likability are not connected. They're usually the opposite. Right. Usually the most immoral people are the ones that are the most likable. So if I say I like Drake, it's not because he's a good person. It's because I like him. Right. You understand? Yeah. I got like for everybody. You know, I'm not gonna say love because you got the love that's gonna weaken you. That compromises you. So I got like for everyone, right? And it's just, I think this is a beautiful time. You know, it's like we saving the world. Like you take Drake and Lucian out, that just alters everything because that's such a control thing they had, the algorithm, the way that they work together to fix the numbers and all that. You know, they have
them two are working together.
Absolutely. Like I think we're gonna name this after a dragon, some demonic like Drake.
He even hinted at Drake possibly fing Kylie's second child. Now, that's probably a reach. But the point is the drama between Drake and the Kardashians is real, and it's messy. Nick Cannon even co-signed the idea that Drake has been lurking in Kardashian territory for way too long.
I was so into...
I think Drake smashed Kim K, no cap.
Come on, man. Let's stay on topic.
That ain't that far off of a concept.
Like, why would we not say the obvious?
This is, as a fan, just stepping back. There's something real personal Drake holds over that whole family.
Now, years later, Pusha is once again dropping hints that he has insider knowledge on Drake's next move. There have been cryptic messages, subtle jabs, and whispers of a collaboration between Kendrick and Pusha that could be the final nail in Drake's coffin. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when Pusha T gets involved, things get ugly real fast. He's been eerily quiet for months, and now all of a sudden he's liking tweets about Drake's downfall. It's not a coincidence. Pusha is strategic, and if he's circling back to Drake, that means he's got something loaded. Drake's panic mode is in full effect, and his desperate attempts to block Kendrick's Super Bowl performance are proof the lawsuit against is only part of the strategy. There are now rumors that Drake has been pressuring the NFL behind the scenes, trying to get Kendrick's performance canceled. Sources say Drake's team has been working overtime using industry connections to make a case against Kendrick's song being played at the halftime show. The argument that Not Like Us promotes defamatory claims, and airing it on such a massive stage could be considered reckless. But fans aren't buying it to many. This looks like a last-ditch effort by Drake to censor hip-hop culture. Just because he lost a rap battle, the backlash has been swift, with people calling out Drake for trying to manipulate the industry instead of taking his L with dignity. If anything, this move is only making things worse for him. It's giving sore loser one of the wildest angles in this mess. The bot conspiracy. Drake's team really tried to push the idea that Kendrick's Not Like Us wasn't a genuine hit, claiming Kendrick used bots to boost his streams. DJ Academics even dragged some random kid onto his stream, claiming he was a bot operator who got paid to juice Kendrick's numbers. But the second people started looking into it, the whole thing fell apart. The receipts were fake, the kid had zero credibility, and the narrative collapsed instantly. Meanwhile, actual proof started surfacing that Drake's been using bots for years. Fans dug up weird streaming patterns, fake-looking AM numbers, and even old receipts on OVO-affiliated accounts running social media spam campaigns. The irony is crazy. Drake tried to call out Kendrick for something he's been guilty of this whole time. At this point, it's almost embarrassing how obvious the strategy is. The man is throwing everything at the wall, hoping something sticks. But it's only making him look worse. Pusha T and Kendrick are just watching Drake self-destruct, and they might not even have to lift a finger. But that's not stopping them from plotting something big. Clips' reunion album, Let God Sort Him Out, has everyone hyped. Pusha T and No Mel have been teasing it for a while, even saying it's done. But at one point, they were supposedly waiting on a certain feature, and fans immediately started dreaming about another Kendrick-Lamar collab. After all, Push and Kendrick cooked up something legendary in 2014, so why not run it back now? Thanks to a TikTok copyright claim, people are convinced it's actually happening.
Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
A TikTok user claimed hit them with a copyright strike for using a snippet of a track. Clips previewed at Pharrell's Louis Vuitton fashion show in 2023.
Is a lyricist, and a lyricist that talks to your soul. Like, You can be clever. You can be clever. You can say cute things. You can do things in cadences and so on and so forth, right? But the truth really hurts. And the truth like cuts deep. And I think what Kendrick was doing was really talking to his soul.
But here's where it gets interesting. The takedown allegedly listed the song as Chains and Whips featuring Kendrick Lamar. Now, let's be real, this is all speculation, so don't get too ahead of yourself. But just the idea of Kendrick hopping on this album has fans spiraling. Even if it doesn't happen, let God sort him out is already shaping up to be a massive moment. And allegedly, this song is going to resurface some of the darkest allegations about Drake, including his questionable past relationships and his deep connections to powerful figures in the industry. If the rumors are true, this track could be the final blow to Drake's already crumbling reputation. And let's not forget, Pusha T has been singing Kendrick's praises. Drake thought he could manipulate the narrative, but now the walls are closing in Pusha T and aren't just letting this slide. They're strategizing, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when they do, it won't just be another diss track. It could be the final blow to Drake's unstoppable run. He wanted a war. Now he's drowning in one. And the scariest part, it looks like he's already lost. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did Drake just seal his own fate? And don't forget to watch the next video for more, because this story is far from over.